what happened was Steven Spielberg, Bob Zemeckis, and Bob Gale, who produced, directed, and wrote Back to the Future, asked to take a meeting with us at Amblin Entertainment. And we went there, and Bob Zemeckis, the two Bob Zemeckis, said, we've just written this movie. We haven't shot it yet. We've just written this movie, and our lead character, Marty McFly, his favorite band would be Huey Lewis and the News. So how would you like to write a song for the, we thought, how would you like to write a song for the film? And I thought, wow, I'm flattered, but I don't know what that means. I don't know how to write for film necessarily. I've never written for film, whatever. He said, oh, no. And I said, furthermore, I don't really fancy writing a song called Back to the Future, you know? And he said, no, we don't care. You write whatever you want. We just want one of your songs. I said, great. The next one we write, I'll send down.
He wanted your sound.
Yeah, whatever, yeah. So, but the next one was Power Love. And I sent it down. And by the way, I didn't think it was going to work because there's no real love object in that, you know, in the film. But they used it in the chase scene, and it worked great. And in fact, they were really smart about it because we released the record, the single, and they waited on the movie for the single to climb the charts. And Zemeckis to this day says that was the best marketing send-off anybody ever had because they had a hit record right to begin with.
In doing these interviews, this series of interviews, I find that a lot of people of an age, they either were not of memory age or not living when MTV was the big deal.
Right.
And my recollection is that you practically owned MTV in terms of being their central star. I don't remember all the details, but I remember fireworks going off, God knows what. But those were halcyon years for you.
Yeah,
when you were the big horse for MTV.
Yeah. We got a lot of MTV play. We sold 10 million records and boom, 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 and so right. So we made another record right away because in those days, economically, if you sell X number, whatever, if you were to sell 4 million records, your next record's going to sell 2 million right out of the box. Right. That's the way it was, and so they encouraged me to get another record going, which we did, and we kind of churned that one out It had some great songs on it, but we actually rushed it a little bit. But sold another, 4 million copies of that thing, So I made a deal with myself and the band. I said, look, we're not going to do anything from here on out for commercial reasons, period. We got to follow the creative stuff. So we made a different record. Our next record was called Small World. And we kind of explored different rhythms, polyrhythms, and I had one track I got Stan Getz on, which was amazing. And it was really, it was kind of ill-received. We didn't have any hits. We had one hit, and then Rolling Stone called it the worst album of the year, actually, Small World, which is very crazy because our title tune had Stan Getz, and that's kind of a funny story. My dad was a jazzer and loved all that Zoot Sims and all that. My dad knew everything about. He can tell you everybody in Jimmy Lunsford's band, Chick Webb's band. He knew everything about it. So, and Zoot Sims died, the sax player, and they were having a benefit for him. It was going to be Stan Getz, a bunch of people, and my dad said, "Man, that'll be really cool." So I got 2 tickets without him knowing, and then we went to the show.
Oh, sweet.
And me and my dad, and we show up at the show, and sitting in right next to me is Phil Elwood, the jazz critic. Well, my dad is a jazzer, and he loves Phil Elwood. And Phil Elwood goes, "Oh, my gosh, it's Huey Lewis. Huey, how you doing? I'm a big fan." And my old man goes, "Wow." He said, "Here's Phil Elwood, knows who my kid is," And so now I sit down, and Phil Elwood, and I switch places with Phil, so he can sit here and talk to my old man. And they're talking about Jimmy Lunsford and the early Benny Goodman stuff, just having a ball. And I feel a little pinch on my back. And I turn around, and it's Getz. It's Stan Getz, and he's wearing his horn. Yeah. And he goes, I turn around and go, "Oh, my gosh, hi, Mr. Getz." He goes, "You're Huey Lewis, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "My girlfriend wants to eat your shorts." And I said, "Oh, geez." He says, "Hey, why don't you let me play on some of that shit, some of your shit, too?" I can play that shit too, you know. I said, well, of course, yes, sir. Well, he said, so he gave me a little card that says, have sax, will travel. And gave me the card. And on the ride home, my dad, who's a radiologist, knew that he had cancer and didn't have that long to live. My old man said to me, if you don't take him up on that offer, I will never forgive you. He said,
But you did take him up.
I did. We had a tough time finding a song. We found the song, sent it down to him. He came up and played on a record. And it was one of the most amazing musical moments I've ever had in my life, watching him play.
I take your point. Commercially, that didn't do so well.
Right. But that moment gets his solo on that part 2. It's called Small World Part 2. And it's a long solo, it's a couple minutes. Is really the best musical moment of any of our records. I mean, it's just breathtaking how great he was. And, but it was, again, Rolling Stone's worst album of the year.